Well, whoop whoop. It's time to mix juggalos and wrestling and FFmpeg video conversion tutorials. We're gonna grab this pay-per-view. We're gonna chop it up into these 30-second webms that you can spam on your image board or your Discord or your Twitter. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We got all the tools. So first half of the video, it's just gonna be tech stuff. Second half, I'm gonna actually review the NWA's pay-per-view. If you like that wrestling stuff, you know, I don't know, it's good. So let's dig in. So first, you're gonna want to get a copy of their pay-per-view on one of those watch wrestling websites. So we're gonna try this one here. We'll do ctrl+shift+F to bring up developer tools in a Chromium-based browser. You notice on this one though, did ctrl+shift+F and that video on the side stopped playing. So if we look in here, type in Dailymotion, it's gonna be like, oh no, we can't show you. We're obfuscating it. You guys can't. You don't know when you take it down. So then you go to another one of those watch wrestling websites, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get it from here. Not steal it. I'm just gonna borrow it, just for a little bit. So you do ctrl+shift+F, bring up developer tools again. We'll do that ctrl+F for Dailymotion over here. And let's see. Well, you know, they didn't hide it on this one. They're not as smart as the other wrestling piracy sites. So basically, we take this little like Dailymotion thing. We just grab just the actual like URL for the video that we need. And the reason we're doing it this way instead of just torrenting it is it's a nice little benefit you get from these Dailymotion things is you get this little subtitle here, and it's auto-generated. And these auto-generated subtitles are actually pretty useful. Like, they're way more accurate than you'd expect. Only problem is we got that. We need to be a hard sub, and we've also got this set up into two parts. So, got a few different problems to solve here. So, first though, we're gonna make sure we can download it. So, we're going to head over to the yt-dlp GitHub page. Really good program for downloading videos from just about any website. And then we're going to go over here and just... where is that download? Oh, there we go. There, I found it again. We're going to grab this yt-dlp.exe. Now, if you're on like a Unix, like a Linux or like a Mac OS, Mac you can get this from Brew, and Linux you can just get it from like your normal package manager. It's usually in the repos, so just grab it from there. But in Windows land, we're just gonna grab this little exe. I'm gonna put it in our NWA folder. Like it's gonna be like our present working directory. So we'll bring up the command prompt, or you can bring up Windows Terminal, or you can bring up the PowerShell thingy. Doesn't really matter. So we'll do CD for change directory, and in Windows I'm gonna do this /D, and that's only because they've screwed me enough times to where I just use it by instinct, because sometimes doing a CD without the /D doesn't work. So anyway, we get that. We're in the right directory, and now we're gonna grab this this nice little spiel here. This yt- oh my god, my hand's too big. I can't grab it. Just gonna have to use the keyboard shortcuts. By the way, holding down Control and Shift and pressing the right arrow. So Control Shift right arrow will do this. So it's pretty handy if you have a giant cursor that's getting in the way. So then we'll just right click here, which will do a paste, and yeah, we're just gonna download this with this switch here. Now I didn't explain all of this. So this yt-dlp, that little thing, that exe is in that directory, so it's gonna call that, and it's gonna add this little switch here, the the hyphen all hyphen subs is going to grab the caption file from this. And if you were using YouTube, it actually download like a JSON of all the comments, which is it's also really helpful, honestly. So we'll just do Control C, which, by the way, Control C in terminal land, that cancels out your commands. So a lot of times in Linux and Mac, you gotta do Control+shift+C or Control+shift+V, and that's really just because that key's already kind of mapped. But in Windows, you know, you just get both. So Control+C to cancel out of any terminal application. So we'll close out of that there. I'm gonna pretend like we already got it downloaded, and yeah, downloads this file, and also as part of the video. But for my thing, I actually took out this this extra part. You see this part in the brackets there? That part in the brackets is actually the URL, in case you ever needed it again. That's the last part of the Dailymotion URL to download that. So now we got this right here, though. I've just renamed them just so it's a little bit easier. So you got the date, and then na1.mp4, then the date, na1.srt, both those right there. And so you get the little SRT file, and the SRT files are actually kind of fun because you go to edit this right here. It's just like a plain text file. But if you wanted to, we could technically turn this SRT file into an ASS file. We could do that with Aegisub or Aegisub, or don't really know how to pronounce this one. But anyway, a lot of people use it for translations. It's big back in the day. And you could actually just do like a file, like save subtitles as, and then save them as an AS file, you know. And you know, you can do the stylization. You can play the video while you're actually editing him in Aegisub, and you can see Billy Corgan be like, "A money mark?" Yes, which he's my favorite money mark. You know, he's from Smashing Pumpkins, and now he owns like a wrestling company. Like he's living his best life. I can't fault him. But anyway, now that we got this sweet video downloaded, well, two of them actually. Notice we got the number 1, number 2. We'll work on that in a sec. But we're going to want to go over to FFmpeg site and grab the Windows builds by BTBN. Because FFmpeg, they give you the source code, but they don't actually compile the source into binaries themselves. Kind of like a few different package package managers? Not package managers. Package, I don't know, people that package the packages. Elves, maybe, I don't know. It's Christmas. But anyway, we got this bottom one here, FFmpeg-master-latest-win64-GPL. It's a mouthful. You download this, and then you're going to extract the FFmpeg.exe into that same folder we got here. And now we're going to make it a little bit easier on ourselves here. Instead of just bringing up the terminal each time, we're going to go through and make a series of batch files. And now to make a batch file, all you got to do, you can just be like new text document, and then let's name it new.bat. So that .bat file makes it a batch file, which is like a script file. Now if you're on like Mac or Linux, you can just change this to a .sh instead, and that's going to be like a shell script. But on this one, we're just using batch. So .bat. And now we're not actually going to use that new. I'm just going to throw that out, because I've actually got a few of these already kind of planned out. So we get this convert.bat. If we look into this here, it's got just 2 lines on here. This first line converts the first video, and this one does the second. What it's doing right here is it's throwing on the subtitle file. It's throwing like a hard sub, so it's actually a part of the video versus like a separate like file. and it's just burning it into the video. So you can easily just have it in like a WebM that just shows up. So after we do this here and launch this, FFmpeg is going to politely be like, hey, that already exists, dude. I'm going to hit no. I don't want to overwrite. It politely asks me again, and I'm like, okay. I still don't. So now we have these nice little name of the file -sub files. So these, if we go into them right here, they've got that hard sub for us, which honestly looks a lot cleaner. And you can just be like, boom, you know, upload it. Has the subtitle file. But that's not good enough. We got to throw these into the same container. And the easiest way to do that is if I bring up this little join files script, right here, if we do this concatenation function within FFmpeg, so first we turn off the safety, then we call this concat part, then we use this list.txt thing as a source, then we do -c space copy to copy over them, which copies the video and the audio streams, and then this last part here is what we want to name the new file. So we're just going to name it that without like a number or anything. And so by using the concatenation function, as long as you use the same codec, you know, the same kind of file, it just basically throws them into a new video container. And it's super quick, by the way. Like if you ever have, you know, like say like a season of something, you want to have it be the same like file, you can just use that concat command and it saves you a lot of time because it doesn't have to re-encode. So if we look at this list.txt file it's referencing, you just see it's just the word file and then it's the name of the file right here. Now I've omitted quotations and neither of these have spaces just because I ran into issues with it having spaces and using the quotes, and that's a little bit weird, but I don't know, there's quirks with FFmpeg. You kind of get used to them. And so after that we're left with this this giant file here, 5 gigabytes of this one, and we want to take this file and we want to make it into a smaller format, because on, you know, you go to like a Chan, their file limit is 4 megabytes on most boards, and you also want to rip out the audio. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this the segments.bat, and this right here, it's got a lot going on. It takes that main file, it goes through and it resets the timestamps for each time it makes a segment. We got this little segment time to make sure it does it in 30-second segments. We've got this little F segment just to force that on. We've got this AN part, and the AN one's actually important because that takes out the audio portion. We've got the bitrate set to 1000 kilobits. We've got this right here, I forget the name, I'll see it in a second, set to 34, and we've got it set to do them at 360p, which I think is pretty decent. And at the very end here, we have this little part with the %$D, which is going to tell it, hey, add a number, and it's going to do like a sequential number from like 0 to however many we do here. Then also, this bottom part's like a Windowsism. I put the word pause after all my scripts, just so it doesn't like close out of the actual like command prompt or PowerShell prompt or terminal. As long as you have this pause part here, it's gonna keep the window active, and you have to press like a space or any key to close it out. So that throws it into these little segments here, gets it in the right format, and then we've got these nice little things, you know. It's just little video chunks, and each part has the subtitles for it too, so you can hear what's going on. Let me get a better example. Well, you can't hear it, but you can read it, and Didn't do anything fancy with the subtitles, but honestly, for auto captions, they got it pretty good. And yeah, I'm just gonna go over sort of the basics of each of these scripts now that we've kind of seen them in action. So, got this first one here, add hard subs, which hard subs, if you're not like an anime person, are just, you know, subtitles or captions that are burned into the video. So we got FFmpeg, name of the program, called in the same directory, so you'd cd into it, or you'd make a script in here. Anytime you have a batch script in here, it's always going to be in that working directory. Like, if I do this convert.bat again, you'll see if we scroll up here, let's see if we can. Yep, it has us in this NWA directory already. Like, it knows when you open a batch file from a directory that it's supposed to be from that directory. It doesn't make a lot of sense until you're writing some scripts, but it's definitely handy. So anyway, we do this -I, which is always the input flag or argument or whatever, and then we just put in the name of the video right there. So that's our first argument. Then we do this VF, this -VF subtitles, which is another argument, equals, and then the name of the subtitle file. And then finally, with all FFmpeg scripts, at the end of it, you're going to have the name of what you want the output file to be. Like, it's not going to name it for you. You got to put that in there. So you throw in those hard subs, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and just join the two files with the hard subs. We're going to join them without actually re-encoding, just so it's faster. So first of all, we turn off the safety. Then we do this -f space concat for the concatenation or joining process. And then we do our input, so that -I, and this -I is actually going to be in a list.txt. So it's that same one we talked about. So you have the word file followed by the actual file, and you just keep on going through that. Each line on here is going to be its own file, so it calls that, and we don't have to list what directory it's in because it's always going to work in our like our current or present working directory. Then we have this -c thing, which is it's for the codec, and that codec, it's going to copy. This -c space copy copies both the audio stream, the video stream, all the stuff. And then finally we have the name of the whatever you want the output to be again. So inside of that file, sorry I went over that, just name of the file again, and then the actual, sorry, the word file, and then the name of the actual file right there. So got this one here too, which is part that's going to convert it over to the actual webbin once they're in the same container and have the hard subs. So -I, so input again, then the name of the input file. Then we're going to call this reset timestamps, as otherwise it's not going to actually reset the timer. I ran into that and it was kind of annoying. I was like, wait a minute, why does it say it's like an hour into it? And that's why. So then we got segment time 30, so it's going to do it 30 seconds. It may be off on the first video, but then after that it kind of evens out. And it does it like right on the dot, so your videos are going to maybe show like 29 seconds with this. Either way it still works. Then we got this -f and then segment, which is telling it to actually do the segment. So segment time sets how long the segments are, and then the segment part is actually the part that tells it to do the segments. Now some of these arguments can go out of order, some can't. Just kind of got to play around with it. This -an, again, that takes out the audio stream. It doesn't mute it, just rips it out completely. Then we got that bit rate with 1,000 kilobits again. Then we got this CRF, and then that's 34. Let me see what that actually stands for again. I had to write that down. Constant rate factor. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that. But anyway, yeah. 0 is the best quality. 51 is the worst. I kind of picked in the middle with that 34. A little bit to the crappier side. But, that's still pretty doable. Then from there, we've got this VF hyphen scale thing here going. And that's gonna, this little part where it has like the -1, so that's gonna be the actual like height of it there. So this -1 just means just take whatever the video height already is. And then this colon and then the 360 just means make the width, make that 360. So 360p, which I think works out pretty well. And then the last part here, so we are going to use a quotation this time for the output name. Whereas you'll notice right here we didn't use quotations. Up here we didn't use quotations. But this bottom one we are going to use in quotations, because if you're not used to programming concepts, those quotations just mean it's part of a string. And inside of the string, it's because we have these spaces right here. I do like a space and a hyphen space just to kind of stylize it. And then inside of the string, 2% signs and a D before the .webm part, because we are converting the webms. It's really good universal format. Yeah, the reason we have these 2% signs here, normally you'd only need 1% sign and a D, but we have a second one here just to kind of escape the character. So it's, I was just running into issues. Like if I wasn't on Windows, I wouldn't need that extra one, but didn't really throw it into WSL or anything like that. So yeah, just keeping it simple. But yeah, you get all these videos, you can spam them wherever. In my case, I just grabbed a copy of, not copy, but like 4chanx, which is a pretty good user script. You just grab like, you know, Violent Monkey or Tamper Monkey, whichever one, and install their user script. It's got a lot of nice features, like, you know, it just, what is it? You can select multiple files, and people can accuse you of being Billy, spamming his own pay-per-view. So yeah, we got, I forgot how it was pronounced, when we watched this part live. Samhain? Imagine this name can't, you know what? Can't stop getting away with it. Samhain. Samhain? It's some pagan holiday thing. They went full leggy. It was great, honestly. And yeah, here we got the Sinister Minister and the Sinister and Minister girls. That was a good way to kind of open the show. The pre-show was really good too, but I didn't convert that because this whole process took literally forever. But yeah, just hanging out with the girls. You know, probably ask your girl to get that mask if you're into that. If you like the little beard, if you want to look at yourself while you're with her, you know, like, oh, I might want that mask, honey. The one with the beard and the baldness. Thank you. Yeah, then we get just our first match on here. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but you know, it's a fun match, and you know, it's sort of like a battle royale, sort of not. It's like whoever's guys on whatever team gets pinned, all of them get pinned first. That's who's gonna lose. It's kind of like a fun little like free-for-all thing. Not the biggest fan, but you know, it's kind of like a start, like a slow start. Like, show is definitely a this pay-per-view is definitely a slow burner, but I would say totally worth it, honestly. It's there in person for part of it, and it's great. And so yeah, we got this Brady Pierce versus Rush Freeman. Definitely not Roosh. Yeah, loser leaves kind of thing, which is kind of fun. Got our little Marco stunt ref. That dude was awesome. He's over here, and oh no, he's got a side. He's got a side he's picking here. Dirty ref. Dirty ref. And oh, it was kind of a nice little thing. And at the end of it, I'm not going to spoil it. No spoilers, but you get a little nice surprise. But yeah, then we got Colby Carino versus Joe Alonzo for the junior heavyweight championship, and these dudes, they went hardcore. They were like going all over the place, and it's great because it's like a really like intimate, small kind of atmosphere. Let me actually go back here, because that first like throw was just like whoopsie doodle, and he just like right up. Oh, the visual of that, just again, there wasn't excessive like juice, like blood or anything in this whole thing. So they kind of made this match special because, you know, not everyone was doing like no DQ stuff. Not everyone was doing the juice, and so it makes like little hardcore things like this a little bit more fun. But yeah, they're just going through the audience, and if you had one of those fun seats up front, which by the way, only like 40 to 50 bucks to sit like in a nice little table by the ring at the Masonic Temple, which by the way, this pagan theme thing, it's all in like a Masonic temple. It was great, like perfect setting. Then we got the Headbangers, man. The Headbangers versus the Southern Six. They're still going, man. These dudes, if you were like a Sunday Night Heat fan, like these dudes, they're still going. And this is basically the alcoholism versus sobriety match. Like, this dude, don't trust him. I've never seen anyone turn heel by not wanting to drink. No, he's a good Christian boy. He's straight edge. This dude, and he's just the worst. Everyone boos that dude. And that was another good thing. Even if you weren't familiar with the people here, you knew how to boo. You knew who to cheer. It was a very heel versus face kind of thing. No like ambiguity or any of that. Like it was pretty great for the most part with that. And also, this match, they had a bunch of shots going around, and they were handing out the shots to the guys, and there was this kid in the front row who was like, oh, can I have one, and held out his hand. He tried. He wanted that shot. That kid wanted that shot. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna drink that shot. It's like, okay. You know, it may be almost Halloween, but I don't know. Anyway, we got this Blake Troop versus Jack Stain, and this was a fun like MMA style kind of thing. Like it's a submission match. Doing the left there, Blake, like he did a lot of the submission type moves, and it was just, oh man, just two big dudes going at it with holds. If you're a big holds guy, like man, it was. I appreciate a little bit of MMA LARPing, honestly. Like, it's fun to kind of like throw that in there, and it was the MMA kicks versus the wrestling punches, which if you're like a big like traditional wrestling punch guy, which again, acquired taste. A lot of people outside of wrestling don't understand how weird the wrestling punches sound, but it really is. It comes with the territory. Really fun match. Would recommend it. Then we had NWA Women's World Tag Championship. Pretty Empowered versus Natalia and Taylor Rising. It was okay. It was not bad. It just I didn't appreciate the whole like I don't know, the way the ref had to not enforce kayfabe rules at some point. Because I'm real big on the whole, like, enforcing the kayfabe rules and having the shoot counts and all that. And there's too many people in the ring for my liking. It kind of went all over the place. It wasn't too bad, but, you know, it was better matches afterwards. But it wasn't too bad, just wasn't my favorite. It's better than the first one, though. Because I'm not a big, like, you know, the old free-for-all person. But this match right here... You got your Thrillbilly, and I forget how to say his name. It's Celis Mason. I'm just gonna call this dude Thrillbilly. He's got some thrills in him. Versus Chris Adonis. So, you know, you got your good country boy, has Bush, has his dip, versus the Hollyweird kind of dude who's like, okay, I don't like this guy. And so there's a very clear who to cheer in this one. In Cleveland, like, oh my god, these dudes go at it so hard in such a good, like, oh man, juiced at the right times, hard hitting stuff, just really just two big dudes going at it. And if you like wrestling, just do yourself a favor and watch this damn match. It is, oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's what people came to watch. Speaking of things people came to watch, I didn't see anyone in Juggalo face paint, unfortunately. But yeah, the Riddle Box match, which NWA is getting into some wacky stuff, which I'm totally cool for. You know, I like the serious matches, I like the wacky matches, and I'm glad that you can kind of have both. You know, you can have whatever you want. You know, it's a good way to kind of break it up. So, Brothers of Fun, I can't say it right. The Funstruction, they say it with the funds. You know, a lot more vigor than I can. I can't really muster up that kind of gusto to be like funds. You know, I can't. Like it's and Violent J. You know, Violent J's there versus La Rebellion and Vampiro, who's still going, man. He's still going. You can still go. And this was just a fun match. Like, for one, just Violent J, he's still doing it, you know, after all these years. You know, they had their own little wrestling league, and he's been, you know, a worker for, like, decades and decades at this point. But it's great to see him throw himself out there for new talent. And this really stole the show. Like, it wasn't just that they threw merch into the crowd, which was fun. But, oh man, like some dude sold a balloon bump. Like, that's some hardcore stuff. Selling a balloon bump. Also, there was this part at the beginning where Violent J is out there like handing out black balloons to people. And that same kid, the one that was like, oh, can I have a shot? He goes and he wants like a balloon. Because he's passing him by, and I mean, I might be wrong on this, but he tugged on like Violent J's shirt, and then Violent J's kind of no-sold him and like went past him, didn't give him the balloon. I don't know if he did get a balloon at some point, but that was just fun. He's just over there, just being a little obnoxious kid. It was hilarious. Like, there was so many fun people to kind of people watch there. I'm sure I was a person that people watch as well, but I mean, you know, there was like the dude with the camera who was like taking pictures of all the girls. I don't know if he was employed by NWA for that, or if he was just a personal collection guy. There was people in costumes. I saw a really cool hat. Just enough to excite me, honestly. And then we got this. Oh, he's snorting it. Oh. I like this kayfabe powder thing he's got going on, the Sinister Minister. He's over, oh, the half T too. I don't know, it was just great. It was the most fun you could have for $13 on a Saturday. That's how I can describe this. Now this next one I unfortunately didn't get to see in person. Had to leave with my party, which kind of sucked. But anyway, these two girls, let me actually bill them right here. So, Kinsey Page and Ruthie J. I went and I watched it later, and they had a match, man. Like, this could have easily have been, like, something, you know, close to, like, a main event type thing. These girls, like, went, you know, like, I'm not, like, just saying that, but the chops, you could hear them, like, I don't know, they had some really good form. They did some great moves. A lot of it made sense. Like, they did a lot of things that other people do that it's, like, slow and it doesn't look good. But they did it fast enough to where it looks cool. Like, right here. Look at this bridge suplex. Like, man, that was nice. I liked it. So, yeah, after that, we get the Blunt Force Trauma versus Knox and Murdoch in Knights of the Round Table match, where you have to throw your opponent through a table, but only the round table. It's a really specific thing, but Oh man, just two dudes in the masks and these other guys and the table and the wizard, the dwarf, the woman. I don't know what her. Maybe she's an elf. I don't know. I think, and then the Templar guys over there. You've got the whole. Yeah, I think she's like an elf or something. I don't mean to say that her special thing. Anyway, yeah, really good match. Made use of the throne up here, which came up a lot. I like the throne a lot. I still wish they had a little TV for the promos, because when they played promos, they just played them through the loudspeaker, so you couldn't actually see them, which is a little bit disorienting. But like seriously, just bring like a 50-inch or something, throw it in the front, like just for the videos. But yeah, then we got our World Championship match right here. Tom Latimer versus EC3, Cleveland's own. And oh man, this is a great match. This was everything that like 107.3 like Mark that really likes EC3. This is everything he said it would be. It was the promo before it and all that. It was great. It was a cosplay match a little bit too, because Latimer was out here as Macho Man. He has his wife as kind of like a Miss Elizabeth thing, and he does the same dynamic too, where he's like protecting her, you know, like she's a little bit dirty too, but she still is everything. And there's just, oh man, it works so well. Like EC3 keeps himself as a face the whole time, and it just such clear alignment, but also like a little bit of like subtlety in the characters. Like right there, he's shielding her from Wild Matt Cardona, which that's another surprise. I'll leave all the Cardona stuff for surprises. But anyway, yeah. So I did wind up going ahead and showing this on PW for fun. Several people were like, "Oh man, Billy, stop showing your stuff here," but I don't know. I did it for free. I was gonna have fun, so I don't know. It's not like a weird thing to post in like image boards in general. I mean, look at here. We got William Shatner over there back in the day, early as 2013, going on 4chan. 2017, he's over there Bane post, talking about Bane posting. And I think we have some more examples where he's like, "Oh yeah, I usually go on the TV, V, and X." Of course he's gonna go on TV. I mean, who wouldn't want to read threads as themselves? I mean, when I'm 80, I want to be this dude that's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go hang out on the image boards and see what the kids are talking about." That's William Shatner. I don't know. Other people go on there too. Like you got your PewDiePie, where you've seen him on the actual videos, going into WorkSafe General. Or sorry, WorkSafe GIF. And then we got Dominic Mysterio here, who's no Millie posting, confirmed for PW. Like, get out of here. You can't tell me Dominic Mysterio, or Max Caster for that much, doesn't post on there. You know, he's doing the whole no Millie Megamind meme. It's so obvious to anyone who's been on the site. Because, I don't know, people don't say they post on chance, but they do. It's just, you know, it's whatever. And I think this is the fun concept to do like a story time thing. Like, you know, a story time's sort of like a concept where you, you know, it's usually with comics where you post it and people like reply to it and have little reactions. Like, there used to be one for Kinnikuman on PW where, you know, the guy would just show the manga all day, don't want to really read it. A more successful example of a story time would be like Serenity, which I mentioned in my last video, which is like an annual story time on Ko where they just every Christmas just read this Christian manga, and it's unintentionally hilarious in a lot of ways, and it's like a tradition. So that's kind of like the point of story time. And webms themselves are almost like a tape trading type thing where, you know, people like repost different webms at different places, and it's kind of like their favorite moments captured. And so the concept behind this was more just to both do like a story time, but also be like a grab bag for, hey, do you want this WebM, that kind of thing. Here's this nice Anon. You know, he's bumping the thread, didn't have to. This nice person. He's kind of talking about the whole show in general. Actually pretty polite, to be honest, you know. And let's see. This, say he looks Bush League, which is fair. You know, someone else thinks it was really nice of them. And then let's see. Just this one dude. I'm not always the biggest intergender match person. I can watch a few, but I'm not like the biggest fan of them. So this guy's replying to me, saying that Max the Impaler does actually work in that first match, and they've actually been like following them since like they've been working in Japan and been watching her work with like Joshi and stuff. And I know she has like a title there now too. And yeah, the Cardona Billy exchange was dimes. So you know, just in general, this is what you can expect. Not from like every story time thread, but you know, in general, like you get like replies here and there. If this is a more successful story time, I think it made some crude thing where it was like, oh yeah, I know I'm looking at my lunch break. That was mostly a joke there. You know, people just generally vibing in, having a good old time. By the way, this isn't like an offensive thing right here. This is like a you only see it once and then never again. And that's a cat right there, by the way. That's a cat. This isn't anything offensive. I don't know why I'm showing this thread, to be honest, but you know, like people sad astroturfing. This is a little bit sad on my part. I just had fun. I don't know. I wasn't using a like a catch solver or using like a 4chan pass, so I was just like throwing in those codes myself because I don't know. I like the feeling. It's, I don't know, maybe an autism thing on my part, but I just had fun. Not too many reactions, but some people really like NWA, and I know it's not getting a lot of traction in a lot of places, but I think, you know, just people that like wrestling generally, like this guy's over here lurking, he's being really like polite about it. He really wanted those Thrillbilly WebMs, like he's holding out for him. Like it's like tape trading. He's like, oh man, I really want that one where he tears Adonis's head off with that lariat after getting his nose broken. Like, that's so cool. Like, I don't know. I just like that people can enjoy things, and the technology, it brings the people together and all the stuff and all the jazz. I don't know. I had a fun day, and I hope you learned something.